This is episode 10 of the Fat Jack Sunday service, and what a week it's been. We've gone back to normal weather. The rain's back. I don't think it's not rained a day this week. You know, back to proper British summertime, isn't it? It's just when you think you're getting that winter fucking mate in there, it just comes back. It comes back with a vengeance. And you know, I've been putting washing out, but it's been getting wet. I'm just not used to it anymore. I had that week of bliss, and I became someone who was actually coping in the heat, unlike usual. And now look at it, we're back to normal. So I'm back with the hoodie on, back looking like a fucking bear that's got poorly fitting clothes on, like a bear that you'd find in the middle of the woods that's just eating every single thing in sight. But yeah, anyway, this week I've been holding off recording a podcast this week because I wanted to get the latest on the TT, and I thought, oh, perfect, you know, the race week's going to end on Friday. We're going to get a good senior race, and I can sort of wrap things up as we go. But I've been holding off, and as per usual, the rest of TT26 abandoned. Harrison declared senior winner. What a bloody piss take. Once again, we've been robbed, haven't we? And I feel like I've been ever so slightly robbed with my TT Live Pass as well. Because, you know, that was 20 quid I paid. And I think, how many races have we seen this year? We saw, what did we see? Well, here we go. So we've had two super sport races, a super bike race, and super sport and sport bike, I believe. So yeah, it's been, how many races is that? 1, 2, 3. Super sport 1, that's 4. Sport bike, we had 5 races, and that's after the whole sidecars have been banned as well. Because I mean, I think we'll go into that a little bit. It was, I've seen the crash video. I can't put it in here, and I just don't want to either. But it was something else. Should we ask ChatGPT, who has been injured at this year's TT? Now, I know there is usually a few accidents, but it seems like it's been very heavy on the accidents this year. So the main ones, Erno Costamo, that was the one that caused the red flag in the senior yesterday. Conscious and talking, Jamie Kringle crashed at Union Mills, transferred to Aintree, conscious and stable. But the biggest one, I think, is Maria Costello. Now, she might not be everyone's cup of tea. She's certainly not my cup of tea for some reasons that I can't go into. But it does sound like she's had a rough do, to be honest. There she is. There. So her sidecar, I believe, took off a bit like the Crow Brothers sidecar, which is the whole reason that they sort of canned it. And I'm led to believe that the organisers made them run a restrictor on the engine to stop the top speed because they were getting a bit out of hand. So everyone's focused on aerodynamics this year, and the under trade plate, or whatever you call it, that's been causing them to take off. So fair play. It was a bold move for the TT organisers to cancel it and whatnot, but you know, it's lucky that no one's died in the sidecars just for that, because that was something else. You know, the video I saw looked like someone had just set a bomb off after the torpedo had gone. So yeah, so this is live updated. So Dean Harrison's had a couple of wins. Michael Dunlop's had a couple of wins. It was pretty close in the Supersport race. Pretty close in the Supersport race yesterday. It looked like Harrison had it in the bag, to be fair, after the first lap. But obviously they went in the pit stop, and it's amazing that Honda UK in the pit stop weren't on the ball, really, because I think he lost 5 seconds in the pits, and then Dunlop just absolutely picked him up, pulled his pants down, and stuck his fingers in. So we can have a day-by-day rundown of the major incidents. Monday, that was when the first really big crash happened at the 2 weeks, on the first day as well. 8 spectators and the rider were injured, but spectators were later banned from viewing that area for the rest of the event. That was in Parliament Square. It's kind of one of them, isn't it? You know it's dangerous when you go and watch it. I've been to watch it, and you do get the kind of sense of, if this goes tits up here, I'm not in a good place, Tuesday, the sidecar was red flagged. So that was with Maria Costello and Sean Parker. So Costello, she's suffered multiple injuries. I believe she's looking at being paralysed. So we send our best wishes over there, because as much as you don't like some people, you wouldn't wish that on people just chasing a dream, would you? Wednesday, another sidecar red flag occurred after a crash involving brothers Ryan Crowe and Callum Crowe at Crosby. Both escaped life-threatening injuries, but suffered fractures. And how on earth they got away with that, I do not know, because actually, I know I've banged on about it a little bit, but it was insane watching the video of it. And then that was when we sadly lost Daniel Ingham on his TT debut. Obviously, we don't want to see it. It's the worst part of the best sport in the world. Best sport in the world. Unfortunately, it does have its drawbacks of cases like that. But the way I've always looked at it is, if you're going to go, what a way to go. It doesn't really get much more like that, does it? Chasing the dream, and realistically, you're not going to know much about it, are you? So Thursday, 28th of May, that's when the organisers suspended the sidecars. And then race week. Most races ran without major headline incidents, though weather disruptions continually affected schedules. Don't we know about it? Overall, the 2026 TT will likely be remembered for the Parliament Square crash, Maria Costello, Daniel Ingham, the sidecars being suspended, and numerous red flags and weather shite. So, I've got a list here. So we've done the TT now. That's fine. Where is my list? Notes. I made a note of some things I wanted to talk about. So that's what I wanted to talk about. MotoGP, and in particular, Cal Crutchlow. I followed bike racing for most of my life, and growing up, this man was one of my childhood heroes growing up. I remember seeing him in BSB to start with, and then going over to World Supersport, I think he went over to, and then to MotoGP. I'd always had a soft spot for Cal Crutchlow. And then to see him back in MotoGP, that's absolute childhood insanity for me, that is. I never thought I'd see him ride anything again. And then for him to have 3 years off. Oh, Tango, if you want to sponsor this, send me some over. For him to have 3 years off and then come back, and even it says here, LCR Honda standing, Cal Crutchlow admits, "I know I'll finish last. as he gears up for his MotoGP Hungarian Grand Prix with Zarco's replacement, even though he's going to finish last, just to not ride a bike for 3 years and then jump on one of them things and race it. What a boy. You can't knock him for that, can you? And to be, I think, what was he, 3 seconds off the pace at Mugello. You know, I would challenge anyone, any former MotoGP, former World Superbikes, former anything, to jump on a modern MotoGP bike 3 years after last riding one, and then do as well as he's doing. Because, you know, there's very few people in the world that be able to do that, and I believe he's one of them. So yeah, what a boy! And I hope, as we speak, I think the sprint race is on from Hungary, so hopefully he does well in that. I need to stop drinking that because I keep having like pauses. So yeah, but the next note on my list of podcast topics was Uday Hussein. I think I've got that name right. Hussein? Uday Hussein? Is that how you spell it? ChatGPT's thinking. We need a sponsorship. Uday Hussein. That's who we're going for. So I heard about this man on the Joe Rogan podcast, and oh my God, this man he's got to be up there in top 10 dictators. So let's have a read through this. Uday Hussein was the eldest son of Saddam Hussein and one of the most feared figures in Ba'athist Iraq. He was known for running Iraq's Olympic Committee and sports organizations, where numerous former athletes later alleged they were tortured or imprisoned after poor performances. Let's see what that says. Oh, go away, Wikipedia. So yeah, apparently he would, like, sort of, the athletes would do poor in their chosen subjects, and he would just basically like cut them all over their body and then drag them through septic waste. You know, that is a madman. Leading the paramilitary group known as Fedayeen Saddam. Don't know what that is. A reputation for extreme violence, including allegations of torture, murder, and intimidation. Human rights organizations, defectors, and former Iraqi officials described him as one of the most brutal members of Saddam's regime. Falling out of favour with his father after murdering a close aide in 1988 and later being eclipsed by his young brother, Qusay Hussein, as Saddam's preferred successor. In 1996, Uday survived an assassination attempt in Baghdad that left him with lasting injuries and a noticeable limp. Following the 2003 Iraq War, Uday and Qusay were killed by US forces in a gun battle in Mosul. Many historians and commentators regard him as one of the most notorious and sadistic figures associated with Saddam Hussein's regime. So, let's have a look. Explain the story about the torture of Iraqi footballers. The story is about Uday Hussein's treatment of Iraqi Iraqi footballers come from former players, coaches, athletes, defectors, human rights groups, and investigations that emerged before and after the fall of Saddam Hussein's regime. While some of the more extreme claims are difficult to independently verify, there is substantial evidence that athletes were routinely abused, imprisoned, and physically punished under his control. Doesn't sound great so far, does it? In 1984, at just 20 years old, Uday was put in charge of the Iraq's Olympic Committee and Football Association. He treated sporting success as a matter of personal prestige and reportedly saw defeats as disloyalty or humiliation. Maybe with the Football World Cup coming up, that's what they should do for the England team. You know, because usually they just bottle it, don't they? what players said happened. Former athletes described a system where losing could lead to imprisonment, beatings, and torture. Weightlifter Raid Ahmed said athletes who disappoint Uday could be sent to prison within the Olympic Committee complex and subject to punishment. Some of the allegations included flogging with cables, whips, or sticks. Where's that? Beatings on the soles of the feet, a torture method known as falaka, sleep deprivation, forced imprisonments after defeats, being dragged over rough surfaces, then exposed to sewage to infect wounds. That is next level. Public humiliation, including head shaving and verbal abuse. Well, I'd be alright there, wouldn't I? Because I'm fucking going bald as fuck. One of the most famous allegations is that footballers who failed to qualify for the 1994 World Cup were forced to kick a concrete ball as punishment. This claim has been repeated by defectors and former athletes and became one of the best known examples of Uday's brutality. Man. Oh, imagine that. Yeah, John, come and kick this concrete football, and you know you've got to kick it, otherwise you're going to get shot. Jesus Christ. The 2000 Asian Cup punishment. After Iraq lost 4-1 to Japan in the quarterfinals of the 2000 AFC Asian Cup, several players were reportedly singled out and flogged for days by Uday's security personnel. Jesus Christ, can you imagine? Imagine if you had to do that to Premiership footballers. Like, the only way to get them to perform is to threaten them with this. You know, like, if you don't try very hard, you're going to get it. You put hell, it'd be a next league of football, wouldn't it? You'd have the Premiership, then you'd have Uday Hussein's torture championship, where everyone's like playing twice as good as normal. The alleged torture chambers. After the 2003 invasion of Iraq, journalists and Iraqi officials were shown rooms and devices said to have been used to punish athletes. Reports describe spiked confinement devices, whipping equipment, and detention cells. These displays received significant international media coverage. Did everyone agree? Not entirely. Some former officials claimed punishments were exaggerated, or that athletes were detained for misconduct as well as poor performances. However, the broader pattern of abuse was serious enough that the International Committee investigated the allegations the day before the fall of the regime. Maybe that's what brought it all down. That's what brought the regime down. So, how many people did Uday Hussein murder? Let's have a look at what ChatGPT reckons. I can't even spell Hussein. Oh, yeah, it knows. There is no reliable number for how many people Uday Hussein personally murdered. Historians, journalists, intelligence officials, and former insiders agree that he was responsible for numerous killings and acts of extreme violence. That's a bit of a shame. What is known now? Death tolls have been estimated, apparently. Poorly documented, because he probably killed the person who's trying to document it. He personally murdered his father's aide and food taster, Kamal Hannah Jeggio, in 1988. He was implicated in the killings of political enemies and family members who fell out with the regime. Numerous former bodyguards, officials, and defectors accused him of murders, torture, and ordering killings carried out by security forces. Former associates described him as someone who could have people beaten, imprisoned, tortured, or killed on a whim. Some books, documentaries, and defectors have suggested the number of people he is directly or indirectly responsible for killing could be in the dozens or even hundreds, but these figures are estimated. What a human individual. Do you know what? Now we're on the subject of bad humans. Let's see. Can you rank the top 10 dictators of all time? Let's have a look, shall we? Ranking dictators depends on the criteria. If we're talking about combination of death toll, repression, historical impact, and brutality, a commonly cited top 10 looks. See, ChatGPT knows exactly what I was on about. So, Mao Zedong. Policies such as the Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution linked to tens of millions of deaths. What? How have I not heard of that? What a hairline, John. That is phenomenal. He's got that banana-shaped hairline. Mao Zedong was a Chinese Marxist theorist, revolutionary, and founding father of the People's Republic of China. As chairman of the Chinese Communist Party from 1935 until his death, he led China's communist revolution and shaped the nation's early socialist state. Revered and revealed alike, Mao remains. Oh, is that who they call Chairman Mao? Anyway, Mao helped fund the Chinese Communist Party in 1921 after studying under Marxist scholars at Peking Duck University. He rose to prominence after the Long March, a strategic retreat that consolidated communist control in northwestern China. By aligning the revolution with China's rural peasantry, General Mao created a uniquely agrarian form of Marxism that became known as Maoism. Following the communist victory in 1949, Mao proclaimed founding the People's Republic of China from Tiananmen Gate. His early 5-year plans aimed at industrialization, but the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution resulted in widespread social upheaval, famine, and millions of deaths. These movements also redefined Chinese culture and politics, reinforcing his cult personality. Mao's legacy is intensely debated. He unified China after decades of war and foreign domination, expanded literacy, and promoted gender equality. Yet his campaigns brought severe human and economic costs. His image endures Chinese iconography, and his political thought continues to influence socialist movements worldwide. So basically, he's a modern-day leftist, is what I got from that. So, who's number 2 on the list? Joseph Stalin. Purges, forced collectivization, famines, gulags, and mass execution caused millions of deaths. Bloody hell. In the millions again. Joseph Stalin. That's some tash, that, isn't it? Joseph Stalin, born Lossob, Hanerma Benerma, Volkswagen Passat, Jugger Hashavali. December 18th or December 6th, old style, don't get it. 1878 was a Soviet revolutionary and dictator who ruled the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s until his death. He transformed the country from a rural agrarian society into an industrial and military superpower while imposing a reign of terror that caused millions of deaths. That's his top trumps bit there. So, dictatorship and policies. We'll skip through his CV here. From 1928, Stalin imposed forced collectivization of the agriculture and rapid industrialization through successive 5-year plans. Sounds like a woman. These policies modernized Soviet industry but triggered famines, most notably the Holodomor and repression of an unprecedented scale. During the Great Purge, perceived opponents were executed or sent to the Gulag, resulting in millions of deaths. Stalin's rule combined vast industrial and military achievement with unparalleled repression. His governments left deep scars through mass executions, forced labour, and engineered famines, yet its positioned the Soviet Union as a global rival to the United States. Oh, so, there you go. So that's the top two. Top three, Adolf Hitler, the one bald Austrian, failed painter and all that. Responsible for World War II and the Holocaust, which killed millions. Again, you got millions there, millions there, millions there. Pol Pot. Is that Pol Pot from Britain's Got Talent? Around a quarter of Cambodia's population died under his regime. What? He's got to have a banana hairline as well. No, not quite. Well, Pol Pot was a Cambodian revolutionary and dictator who led the radical communist Khmer Rouge regime as Prime Minister of the Democratic Kampuchea from 1976 to 79. He oversaw one of the 20th century's deadliest genocides, causing the deaths of roughly 1.5 to 2 million people. Oh, Jesus Christ. And he's number 4. 1.5 to 2 million, he's number 4. Kim Il-sung? Oh, is this some boy? Look at that. Who's that? Oh, get on. That actually looks like that's got to be who they base that off, hasn't it? Team America, Kim Jong-il. I'm probably being stupid here, aren't I? Yeah, there he is. Look at him. Ah. Oh. Kim Il. Kim Song-ju, is that the same one? It might not be the same one, but it still looks like it. So we'll take that as a yes. So he was North Korea's boy from 1948 till his death. He ruled as a premier and later president, shaping the nation's policies. Oh. And where's he? He's 5th on the list. Idi Amin. Infamous for mass killings, repression, and economic destruction. He looks like Forrest Whitaker, is it, out of that movie? Idi Amin Dada was a Ugandan military officer and politician who served as the country's 3rd president from 71 to 79. His rule is remembered for severe human rights abuses, mass killings, and the economic collapse that followed his expulsion of Uganda's Asian minority. Oh, a proper genocide. Amin's violent dictatorship left deep scars on Ugandan's political and social fabric. Again, the word genocide is thrown around too much nowadays. So maybe people need to do a little bit of history. Maybe people need to listen to this podcast and just get up to date with some history here. It's like the worst history lesson ever, this, isn't it? It's me going through ChatGPT, finding there's a common denominator. Mustaches. Big, beefy mustaches and dictators seem to go hand in hand. You know what that is? That's start of the night, end of the night. Start of the bender, end of the bender. Get on. I remember watching that on BBC News. I want a sculpture like that one day. Poor building quality, that, isn't it? Let's get rid of that. Saddam Hussein was an Iraqi politician and dictator who served as president of Iraq from 1979 to 2003. I didn't realise it was that long. Everyone knows about him anyway, don't they? Muammar Gaddafi. He's some boy, isn't he? If he was going to be a dictator and had to choose how to dress, this would be it, wouldn't it? Colonel Gaddafi. He was a Libyan revolutionary politician and de facto leader of Libya from 1969 until his death. Born to a poor family. They're all the same, these, aren't they? Born to a poor family. He went and stuck his hand up people's asses and just bum-fingered everyone into submission. Francisco Franco, number 9 on the list. Mustache, again, not quite beefy. Hang on, who's that there? Oh, that's the Führer. Jesus Christ. I'm not even sure we're allowed to show this, and now I can't get off. Oh, there we go. Anyway, he was a Spanish general. Obviously, enjoyed painting with him. He established dictatorship and led for 4 decades. See, all stuff I never knew about. So he was 9th on the list of the top 10 dictators. Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet? Mustache again. Chilean army general, an authoritarian ruler who led Chile from 1973 to 1990, following a military coup that ousted President Salvador Allende. His regime was marked by severe human rights abuses and radical economic reforms that reshaped Chile's society and politics. So, everyone, that is your top 10 dictators as ranked by ChatGPT. And after all that, where does Uday Hussein rank? Most historians would not place Uday Hussein in the top 10 because he was never the head of state. So there you go. If you want to make it on the list, you've got to be head of state to do that. I've just gone on a complete tangent there by accident. I didn't mean to talk about this for that long, but if you've enjoyed your history lesson, let me know. I love history stuff like this, so we should do one a month, shouldn't we, where we go into this, or maybe I'll just do all of them like this, and you'll just have to deal with it. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching or listening to this week's edition of Fat Jack Sunday Service. I am going to finish my can of Tango, take my underpants off, and watch the MotoGP. Have a lovely week. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you when I'm stood at the end of your bed during the night with my penis out. Thank you.